Alright, so since Pig Newton went so horribly, I got the okay to add a bit of a game here. We have Battle Garegga. That's considered to be one of the best shmups out there, pretty much voted top almost every year on the Shmups forum. This game is very difficult. I do not expect to 1cc this. I will try to get as close to the end as possible. So this game is very complex. The scoring system is way more than I would ever have time to explain. But on a very basic level, the thing you need to understand about this game is the game has a very detailed dynamic difficulty system. Every action you take makes the game slightly more difficult, whether it's making a bullet slightly faster, the enemy shoot a little bit faster, or more frequently, or more bullets. And that accumulates throughout the entire game as you collect power-ups, as you collect score items. And the way to make it go back down is to die. And you get extends every 1 million points. And you can get them quite a bit. So the game actually gets easier if you go for pretty intense scoring tricks, of which there are a lot. So the ship I've selected here is Golden Bat, which is a very strong shot, or a very strong ship. Its normal shot has piercing properties, which does quite a bit more damage than normal shots. And its options actually don't increase the difficulty as much as a lot of the other ships, so it stays quite a bit lower. So the gray items I'm picking up here are bomb fragments. So at the bottom you have your bomb meter, and you can actually use parts of... if you collect 20 fragments, you get a full bomb. But if you collect... you can actually use parts of them to get a shorter duration. A lot of the bosses in this game are just so cool. You pretty much disassemble all of the... a bunch of turrets off of them, and everything is worth points if you do things a certain way. So these turrets are worth more points if you hit them with a non-piercing shot, so I'm going to try and do that, but it doesn't look like I'm going to get it set up here. There it goes. Even the armor of the ship is worth points if you chip it all off. A few more points here before going to the final pattern and destroying the boss. I died, that's fine. I am actually intended to die twice before the section shortly up here for a scoring trick. So when you die, you get a burst of bombs, or you get a I think it's half a stack of bomb. So I actually want to intentionally die here. Decreases the difficulty of the game. So up here, there's on the left, there's a building here. If you bomb it, a bunch of birds fly out, and if you bomb the birds, they're worth just an absurd amount of points. So I got my first extend there. These enemies are worth more points if you bomb them instead of shooting them, but I'm not going to do that here because I did not get as... I have to let that drop. It's lined up with the enemies. That's a scoring item, and they accumulate, or they increase in value the more you collect in a row without missing any. So this boss here is worth quite a bit of points if you bomb it. This pattern is tough, so I'm going to pay attention. But if it's at the top of the screen, it won't take quite a bit of damage. So we're going to do a little bit here and get some. And I didn't get it, so I'm just going to kill it normally. Stall a little bit and see if I can kill some of these smaller turrets, which are also worth quite a few points. I got it. So if I had any bombs left, I could actually bomb this, and a bunch of the score items would pop out of it. But because I both lost my metal chain and didn't have any bombs spared over, I'm not going to start until now. I almost ran into that bullet there. The bullets in this game are notoriously difficult to notice. They have very dull colors, and if there's a lot going on, which there usually is, they can be pretty tough to see. That enemy was about to loop into me. So we're at max metal value, which is 10,000 points. So as long as I don't miss every single one I pick up will be worth that much, which is worth quite a bit of points. This guy gives you an extend if you kill the side ones and leave it alive until it kind of reaches the end of the stage. And all of the little propellers and everything on the... That's fine. I did die once anyway. Everything on this on these big ships or these big planes are worth more points if you bomb them, and there's just so much detail into the scoring of this game. I did a little bit too much damage to the core of it, so it went from just shooting a single shot to shooting kind of a spread at me, which is a bit irritating, but I can just kind of sit on top of it and make it stop. To do a little bit more damage, you have to really know how much you're doing to it, because you have to be able to kill it in time, which I did there and got the extend. This boss is pretty interesting. It's, again, just a big wall of a bunch of different turrets, and you kind of disassemble it as you go. And as you destroy stuff, more of the turrets activate. Scramble. You can actually sit here and get extra points, but I'm not going to do that, so I'm going to play it cautiously here. And we'll move on and hope we can get to the next extend pretty quick. These tanks here give you a full bomb if you blow up all of their wheels before you destroy their core. Which I'm going to try and get at least one here. Nope. We can get a second out of this one, possibly. Nope. The piercing shot makes it a bit tricky. So the rails going across there, if you bomb them, they drop whatever value metal you have at that point. So it's pretty lucrative, but I only have one full bomb, which I actually want to use on the boss, so I'm saving it. It's a little safe. If you destroy those turrets in the middle, I'm just gonna bomb here. And I died. Because your bomb only blocks bullets. You're not actually invincible while you're bombing. Thankfully, since we're dying so much, the dynamic difficulty of the game is pretty low. And this part is worth quite a bit of points. I missed that medal, but because I had another one on screen, I can reset the value. That enemy got too low on the screen, so you can no longer kill it, so it's just going to casually scroll off screen. And now we get to the boss gauntlet. So you refight the bosses of the first two stages. They're much more difficult. They have tougher versions of their attacks, and because of the dynamic difficulty, they fire quite a bit faster. I'm going to be really careful when disassembling this guy, because if he gets to his last pattern, it's really fast. So I'm going to try and get it from the side and only kill one of these turrets. I'm hitting the core right now, which ultimately does kill the boss. And he'll never go into his last pattern. There we go. We did not get a good pattern, so we'll just bomb through this just because. And I could not dodge that, but. Oh, that was dangerous. I did not have a lot of room to dodge there. You actually fight one of the planes from stage 3 now. Blow up a lot of its parts to get extra score here. Ooh, that is bad. That might actually be the credits. So there's a lot going on the screen here, and it actually fails to spawn the items it drops when you get hit. So I am going into this with not a lot of resources here, so I'm going to try and get what I can here for points. But where I'm at right now, this is probably going to end in stage 6. Thankfully I got this attack, which shoots out enemies that give items, so hopefully I get an option again. Nope. See if he does it again. Yep, okay. There we go. Metal drop there, because this can give you some pretty nasty setups. And that part is really difficult to keep your chain through anyway. So I can start building up afterwards here. Or let it drop again, sure. Still got it. Couldn't get it out at the time. I did not expect to make it past that. That is where, for someone who's practicing the game quite a bit, that's really the first major wall. That part right here. So I intentionally let, and I lost it right away, okay. I intentionally let a few bombs go by there, because if you let 5 bomb chips get past, you get homing options, which are pretty important for this part. So there's kind of a safe setup at the start of there, but at this point, it's kind of a crapshoot. So this stage is insane. Just a lot going on. Nope. I thought the bomb would have gotten that one. I actually did a kind of an interesting trick. There's a sprite limit of the game, and all of the tanks kind of circling around that turret. If there's enough of them there, they'll despawn. There's supposed to be like a 3rd tank there. So that made it pretty deep into the game. There's 7 stages. This was pretty much right at the end of the 6th one. So that was pretty decent, considering this was kind of a spur-of-the-moment edition. But yeah, Battle Garegga is just a super fun game. It's pretty much top of the class for shmups. So with that, I think we're moving on to BBH next. So thanks everybody for watching, and good luck BBH.